And, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 2 of the Taoist, Aristo-Platonic, Post-Hypermodernism Theory podcast. I'm very excited to bring you another installment of this and to begin to explain the actual theory of the theory to you. So here goes. It starts way back in the day with my fundamental instinctual belief that the best way to play chess must, in my view, be a philosophical way rather than a mathematical way. There's not a huge amount of difference between those two things, but there is kind of a huge difference, and it's very, very meaningful. So the difference is you don't want to be calculating, and you don't want to be memorizing, and you don't want to be looking into the future. Those are all the wrong ways to play chess, all right? Some degree of that is necessary, but fundamentally it's the wrong way. Okay? And so I've created an entire theory, and with a forthcoming book soon, on that very topic, because it's near and dear to my heart, and I think it'll be a world-shattering event when I teach everybody about it. So, my theory is a philosophical one about how to make the best move in the moment without looking too far outside of that moment. And it has certain philosophical guidelines and rules, and it's very heavy on symbolism because that's a useful heuristic when you're actually playing the game, just in order to remember the way everything works. So the bedrock principle that I began with was just trying to analyze, what kind of move, because if you zoom out from what move is the best move, the way to find the best move, logically speaking, is first knowing what kind of move you should be looking to make. All right. So I needed to somehow categorize and label those kinds of moves. All right. And, the first thing that a person thinks of when they try to think about this is just the concepts of offense and defense. Those are fundamentally the two kinds of moves in chess, although there's another one that's very important that I added later, which is movement. So those are the three kinds of moves in chess: offense, defense, and movement. Okay. Now, most moves serve the other purposes. In fact, almost all moves serve the other purposes too, even if they don't do so in any efficient way. But the idea is to first isolate what kind of move you want to be making of the three kinds, and there's actually 6 kinds, because 3 times 2 is 6, and you have to multiply by 2 because white is not the same as black. Okay, they're different, so each time they make their kind of one of the 3 moves, it's unique by comparison to what the other side needs to do. So there's 6 total kinds of moves in chess, and I gave each one a name. But first, let me just quickly explain that what you want to be doing after you identify what type of move, then you are just looking for the one that best serves the other 2 needs. So if it's time to make an attacking move, you want to make an attacking move that does the best possible job of moving and defending. If you need to make a defending move, and you know that, you want to find a defending move that does the best possible job of attacking and moving. And if you need to make a moving move, hold on, Dieter moment. Cheaply. And if you need to make a moving move, it's very important that you identify which moving move is also going to best serve the needs of defense and offense. All right, so now we move on to the actual symbolism of the move types themselves. I created 6 symbols for this, and here they are in order: chariot, spear, shield, tower, sword, and arrow. All right, now, what these represent. Chariot is white movement, okay? And when you make a moving move, you want to focus that in the center, because the center is the best place to have movement in the general sense, generalized sense. That's generalized truth. It's not always the best possible thing, but it's usually almost completely true when it comes to making a moving move. Your movement wants to be in the center, ideally. All right. So the first, right off the bat, we have chariot, which is white movement. All right. Black has to reply to that with some sort of something. And what black needs to do there, according to Taoist, Aristo-Platonic, Post-Hypermodernism theory, my theory that I invented, is an attacking, right? When you move, right, that's when you're vulnerable to attack. And therefore, the best thing to do in response to movement to begin with is the strongest way to begin an assault, right? You have to move to your enemy to assault them, right? So logically speaking, we're just deducing all of these things. So white starts with movement, right? But the counter to movement is attack, right? So we have a spear that attacks the chariot. And it's a spear because we're attacking in a defensive way because we're black and we're inherently disadvantaged, right? Chariots are the fucking best. They are the ancient versions of tanks, right? So that's what white starts with, and that's the symbolism for the white movement on move one. Then the black attack against that movement on move one still is defensive in nature because it's inherently defensive since you're playing black, and we call that spear, all right? And just in case you were wondering, the best actual moves are knight f3 with white, and to play out the knight on the king side, knight in response. That's the most proper chariot and spear for move one, right? After that, chariot, spear, shield, right? Because when someone, if you're the guy in the chariot, right, you have this tiny little shield on your arm. And when the dude dressed in black on the other side, who you're charging at, trying to get over or around or murder and then get over or around, when he flings his spear at you and or sets it against something to try to kill you or your horse, you need to use your shield real quick to bat that crap away, okay? And hence, the next move by white is defensive in nature, and it is called shield. Pretty simple stuff, right? We're following along, right? Cool. So you analyze the attack from black with the spear, and you defend against that with your move, right? Shield. After that comes tower by black, and the concept here is moving around the shield, okay? But since it's black, it's inherently defensive in nature, right? So you're moving around the shield upward by ensconcing yourself in a high tower of some kind, and that's how also you will attempt to reach over the shield and strike at your enemy. But it's still inherently defensive in nature. You can't actually attack them unless they mess up. That's how life works. That's how chess works. That's how physics works. And that was super thrilling because we got through our time in no problem at all. And now it's time to end the episode, even though I'm literally in the middle of this explanation. How exciting is that? We're going to continue the explanation of the forms of Aristo-Platonic post-hypermodernism theory. The Platonic part of it. Next week in episode 3. Looking forward to that, and I hope you are too. God bless you. I love you. God bless America. God bless Earth. And I will see you again soon. Peace be with you.